All right, well, good afternoon. We're glad to see everybody out there. Welcome back for the afternoon session. We've got sort of a rapid fire agenda today. I think we'll start with Grant Lenihan shortly with AIOps for NaaS. We'll be talking about monetizing certified carrier Ethernet. I think one really important one that got mentioned a few times, network API use cases for mobile and wireless with Henry Calvert from GSMA. I know that's a relationship the Amplify has worked to extend. We'll also talk about a NaaS implementation showcase from Zayo Inside Packet. And I think towards the end, you'll have a senior analyst perspective presentation. So lots to get through, and we'll kick it off right now. So I'd like to start by inviting Grant Lenihan, and the topic he'll be talking, AIOps for NaaS, self-healing, predictive, closed-loop operations. Grant? All right. Good luck.
Thank you, Rob.
Thank you.
Wow, bright lights. And we're not even in a big city. Welcome everybody to, I think this is the beginning of the afternoon session. And we are going to be talking about the application of AIOps to closed loop, predictive, automated NaaS systems. And that's really an aspirational journey. I think one of the great things is we're going to learn from the four people on this panel their place and what they're learning as they go down that journey. So I want to introduce first Joan Garcia from Schult Technology Services, Lorella Scalcione from Sparkle,
Hello.
Wenyu Shen from NTT Docomo Business, and Ashif Kari from Wipro. So we're bringing different geographic perspectives and different operational perspectives as well. We're going to try and make this very conversational and go through a number of topics that we thought were sort of threads that ran through everybody's experience, starting with use cases and why companies began with the projects that they did, what they learned from doing that, and bring this to a culmination with how AIOps does apply to NaaS. So, with that, I'd like to kick this off with whoever would like to begin and really give a view of what kind of use case or cases did you pick? Why did you pick it? And what was good or bad about that choice, and what did you learn?
I'm happy to go.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sorry, apologies.
Someone go.
So at Schult, we started doing the usual, right? We kicked some thorough analysis of what's happening in operations, where can we find the different hot points, hot topics that we have to address just to make the whole operation process more efficient. But they very quickly realized that we were into two difficult grounds. One of them is the quality of the data that we were working on, because many of the things that we wanted to optimize fundamentally were about supporting and multiplying the ability of the engineers in the field, and the data was a bit scattered all over the place. And the second one fundamentally was AI is not yet a mature technology, so you cannot go from zero to hero straight away, right? Yeah. So we wanted to start looking at how do we build technology foundations for use cases which are easy to deliver from a technology perspective, then learn with the process, and then make a plan to scale.
So you're building a foundation that can apply to lots of use cases rather than placing your bets on one.
Definitely.
Okay. No,
Lorella?
we deployed the foundation of our platform that is called AISNA, that is AI Service and Network Assurance. So we built it on the basis of use cases, and we selected these use cases together with the Network Operations Center, and the keywords was the efficiency. And so we asked to our colleagues which are the activities that are more time expensive. And so we developed proactive monitoring. That is one of the first use case we deployed. And then fault management. So for example, AISNA now is can monitor in a proactive way our network on the basis of historical data and measures from the field. and help the Network Operations Center to manage the fault, either analyzing the root cause or also interacting with the customer, because ISNA can understand which is the traffic that is impacted by the fault, can understand which are the customers that are impacted by the fault, and then understand if there is a SLA violation because of this fault. And so this is so the efficiency was the key word, because we'd like to balance the investment and the savings. So this was the way we started.
You might not want to share it with the audience, but do you have some kind of a measurement of the savings?
Definitely, because it was the key. And so we have hours spent, so the saving in hours, the saving in FTE from external provider in our Network Operations Center, and also the time, how much time have we saved, for example, in order to write a report after a fault. So ISNA can write a report to a specific customer that has a specific SLA, saying what was the root cause of the fault, explaining which have been our activities to solve the fault, and also which is the SLA violation. So this is made by ISNA alone, and so we save really much time. So this is an important key to start using the platform, and then other use cases are coming, because the people start using the platform, and so they ask for new use cases.
When I remember, it was interesting, you almost came at it from a very different direction.
Yeah, that's correct. Actually, when talking about deploying AI technology to our telecom business, we had actually lots of discussion on which domain, which use case can we first start it. Actually, in our company, actually we divided roughly into 3 categories. You know, the AI for operation, AI for sales, and AI for the customer, roughly. I think the Sparkle team and the code has already mentioned the AI for operation. For probably it's the main motivation behind is to make the daily operation easier and to reduce human operational cost. I think I will not repeat it again, but I would like to focus on the other 2 categories, you know, the AI for sales and AI for the customer. So why we invest on these 2 topics is because, you know, for example, AI for sales, you know, NaaS is a relatively new concept. And actually, to be frankly, our sales team is not ready to sell NaaS. So actually, they have lots of questions. They don't know how to sell it, how to persuade the customer, and how to design the NaaS for the customer. They finally come out with lots of questions. So the service owner needs to answer these questions, which actually takes lots of time. So that makes us one of the motivation behind is to, you know, make the conversation between the sales team and the service owner more smoothly. So that's why we are trying to deploy the AI, probably it's a kind of a chatbot or whatever, you know, to automatically solve the problems that our sales team has. Another, you know, the category is the AIOps for the customer. You know, NaaS open a good UI, the user interface for the customer to manage and operation their own network. So, which one hand it's good, customer will have the flexibility, they are free to manage their own network. But on the other hand, it's too complex for the common user to operate their network by themselves. So they raise ticket every day, they call us every day. So that motivates us to create such of AI tools to assist the customer to operate their daily work. So actually, even for AI for sales and AI for the end customer, I think the main motivation could be adding more revenue rather than reducing cost from our perspective.
Very good. Ashish, do you have anything?
If we look at the use case in this space, there are certain things which comes natural, but getting to the whole journey, the problem starts with identifying the use case itself. So what we do first is use AI for use case identification, because it's all about getting those ideas, qualifying them, and then start building them. So impact analysis in terms of severity and in terms of experience impact. This is something which plays a significant role. And then comes the volumetric aspect, because that straight away hits the cost. So wherever there is a high impacting ticket or high impacting failure, or something which can directly impact the customer experience, that takes a natural priority, and that is the lens which we see when we identify a use case. And then second, of course, if there is a frequent failure on something, how do we automate? How do we apply AIOps on that, so that we reduce the number of tickets, we reduce the time to solve. So that is the second major issue. And to get to this, we start with Ideathon, where we get those AI ideas, because how to do is easy, what to do is where the real intelligence and experience collaboration is required. So we focus on that in the beginning itself, and not solve the problem when it is already hitting.
So you essentially built a prioritization of which ones were going to give you the best return on investment or creating the most difficulty.
Yeah.
I've heard that story before, right? I think that is slowly becoming sort of the best practice for how and where you get started.
Yeah.
So it's nice to hear. That sort of takes us to the next topic that we were kicking around yesterday, which is the idea that applying agents to do exactly what we're doing today is probably not getting the most out of it, and that there is an opportunity to rethink sort of what you do and when you do it and how you do it to get, sure, we want productivity and cost savings. Of course, everyone wants that. But for the first time, it's probably not a trade-off with quality and accuracy. It's probably a case of being able to get more. If you guys could say, do you agree, do you disagree, and why, and what do you do to make sure that you get both good productivity and good accuracy and make a real leap forward?
Well, completely agree.
The end.
That's it. So fundamentally, one topic that's been discussed this week is under the bonnet of network service, there's a lot of network automation orchestration that has to work.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, in order for that to work and work smoothly, and then provide you the data and the system interaction with agents that you need to really start uncovering use cases that way you were not thinking about before, because the usual, I don't know for the other panelists, but the usual use cases that you get on the list when you talk to operations are mostly driven by humans. Right? Because that's how we operate. It's all designed around automated operations, but have been traditionally designed for humans. Now, when you introduce a lot of automation under the bonnet for automatic lifecycle management and automatic resource lifecycle management and so on and so forth, then you can start tapping into use cases that you weren't looking before, and then AI can help you find some of those insights. Because that's part of the conversation we are having. When we design assurance systems, when we design operation systems, we design them for what we can see and touch. We don't design them for what we cannot see at scale, or those insights that we haven't been able to tap into yet. So I think this, again, elaborating on, completely agree. We have to be open to whatever comes out of those insights.
Does anybody want to pick up on that? We don't have to necessarily go in commutator order.
Please.
It's okay?
Okay.
But we will.
Okay, so my opinion is that to use AI in the right place. In that way, I believe that AI can do better than human beings. So I would like to share with you several successful stories that we had internally. One is the multi-domain troubleshooting. So we launched our NaaS several years ago, and to create an end-to-end connection between the CP, on-premise CP, into the cloud. Actually, on the road, we have the last 1 mile access, we have the VPN domain, and also we have Cloud Fabric. Actually, the service, end-to-end service, is divided into 3 small services. Though we call it a NaaS in total, but actually it is 3 services and operated in different divisions in our company. So which actually make lots of confusing from our customers. So the customer don't care who is operating which part. They just call us, I cannot access to AWS. Then it make a panic. Who knows which part had the question. So we need to have a discussion among each team, so in order to find a root cause analysis, which is very time consuming. So in that case, we are trying to adopt AI agent to do the root cause analysis among different service domains. So that is one sector that I think the AI can do better than human beings. So another use case I would like to share is the network behavior monitoring. So I believe that it is not possible for a human being to monitor the network for 24 hours and summarize what is the the thread of the traffic, what is actually the incident that happened in the traffic in the network. I think AI has the ability to monitoring always 24 hours a day and summarize well the trend of the traffic. And if we link it into some security database, we can even know whether there's an attack and whether there's any threat from outside or inside. I think that is what a human being cannot realize in a very easy way. So that's why I think using the AI in the right place will actually benefit, add more value than the daily human-based operation.
Yeah. So the productivity is important, but we can say that the AI is revolutionary technologies that you can apply whatever you want in each field of our life, and different fields have different aim, a different way to be simplified, a different way to be evolved, a different way to be also interconnected with other kind of fields. So we can't say that there is just one keyword in order to apply just the productivity, just the revenue assurance, and so on and so forth. So one of the key, speaking about other kind of application domain in the IT domain. So speaking about ERP or about sales and so on and so forth, I can say that if the people that are using AI are happy, so if my network operations center is happy and they say, I'm happy to work in Sparkle because they have a smart way of working, a smart way of working, this can be one of the KPI, okay. And so I can say, okay, I can introduce the AI for these specific activities because I can give to the people of Sparkle, of the company, to say, I'm happy, I'm proud to work here. There are some fields where the AI is a necessity. So we are speaking about NaaS, and when you told about a specific field where the AI is necessary, when the automation is really the key of for example, the interaction with the customer, there you need the AI. And especially speaking about NaaS, NaaS needs AIOps. So the way and the reason why we introduced the AI in our day life, can be really different reasons.
I like the idea, by the way, of using as a KPI are the people happy, because AI has a way of threatening jobs and threatening people. And I really liked a statement on another panel I was at the TM Forum. A gentleman from Verizon said, I have a mantra. Think about things you hate doing that are repetitive. If you hate it, automate it.
Yeah.
And that's a really good way to think about using it. It says it's your friend, it's not your enemy.
Yeah.
So you made me think
definitely.
about that with your
and
story.
This is also the happiness of the users is also the key of success of a specific AI tool. Because we frequently speak about data, definitely, and we speak about algorithm, definitely, and we speak about training, and the training is done by data, but also by people. So, for example, in our network operation center, when AISNA started working, so the first steps were done by the users that tried to correct, and then AISNA learned from this step.
So it's sort of almost a form of supervised learning?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So the involvement, so it is a way to correct the data, it's a way to correct the algorithm. So this is a way to converge to a reliable AI tool, no? And so the involvement of the users is crucial, because they have to do one of the most important steps of the training session for the AI.
Very good. Ashish, you have something to add to this?
Yeah, so if we look at, as you rightly said, that it is a nirvana. So fully autonomous is something which may be a target, but not something which we can actually reach or at least see a visibility today. Now, the whole aspect here is that in terms of what are we addressing. And if we look at cost aspect alone, now cost is never a bottom line. It's a continuously changing bottom line. So you achieve a level and then there is next and next and next. Now, when you look at that, it is important that we have a continuous improvement on that. And that is something where instead of human AI assist, we look at human in loop. Because that is a right combination of AI and human intelligence to get this continuous improvement in place. Another aspect on root cause, that is something which has to be a focus from AI perspective. And like in our platform, we have got causal analysis as one of the key module, which automates the root cause analysis process. And something which is days thing comes down to hours or even minutes. So if we look at the accuracy and the whole productivity aspect, if we are not putting those guardrails and doing a continuous improvement of that, we hit a roadblock, because data set is changing continuously. We are not working on a static data, we are working on dynamic data. The networks are changing, the kind of applications which are there, those are changing. And so is the behavior of the network. So we need to keep having those continuous improvement loops in place to have that accuracy maintained.
Very good. It's interesting, 3 of you, maybe 4, but I think 3 of you all touched on data and the importance of data and training as part of the answer to that question. And one of the things we discussed yesterday was how important data was. And what I thought was interesting about it is, I think, and of course you can all correct me if you had a different memory or perspective, data was very important to the success of AI. But AI agents could also be very important in creating and finding richer and better data. And since everyone touched on that, I thought you might want to expand on that a little bit here, because it also goes along with some research we just published that people should stop worrying about what model you're using and make sure you have great data.
Yeah, definitely. So I think, but before I go into the data point, I would like to pick up on something that Laurel mentioned earlier. I think, and it's related to the data topic, the experience of the users working with AI is very important. It will make sure that there's proper adoption. If you find a way to gamify it, as you were discussing, challenging the AI and proving that your engineers are actually cleverer than the AI, that makes a whole difference. Now, then by using the data, the AI in that way, and then letting them play with the agents and getting some new insights, then you can introduce a new context to the operational data that they have already, right? And this new operational context, these new data points actually help them through figuring out things that probably they didn't have either the time or the scale of tools or whatever it is to figure out. So I think it's very important to make sure that we are a bit less obsessed with getting the models and everything which is rigid right, and we work a bit more to get new insights and data that can help our teams on the ground through their day-to-day operations, right?
Yeah.
We spoke about the traditional inventory,
Yes.
the static one, so we have definitely in place a traditional inventory, and static that is a human-centric inventory, and at the same time, AISNA is based on the network. And so we collect measures from the network, and AISNA build the topology of the network from the network. And from the inventory, it takes other kind of information. And so we collect the two sources, but definitely, so AISNA take their decisions on the basis of the network. The fact to continue using the static inventory is linked to what we were saying about the salespeople or about the process or the traditional process. So at the moment, we don't have NaaS for each kind of product. We have products that are sold, provided, and delivered in a traditional way. And we have people that work this way. So with order management, with different steps, and so on and so forth. So in order to pass to a more automatic process, let me say, but to a very different paradigm, that is the NaaS paradigm. It is a question of technology, but definitely as for all the digital transformation, we need also to change the mind, to change the way we do the things, and also to change the rules, and also to change the organization, and so on and so forth. So at the moment, we have the traditional inventory, and we have a new inventory that is the network, let me call the new inventory. And we have two different processes. One is automatized, one is manual, but definitely we need to converge, and we know where.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, so if we look at inventory, the whole success of AIOps depends on this, and this should be near real time. The fundamental issue starts from that it's a one-time build and then refreshed over a period, and that frequency is not that good. And that creates an impact on the quality of relevant data you get. Okay? So what we have built on is getting those discoveries automated. Mm-hmm. And maximizing in terms of the inventory accuracy over a period with continuous or rather periodic checks, so that we have a near real-time inventory in place. And that is when you can look at the real-time health, correlation, and then analysis based on that. And if access is there, or if there is a reach as such from a data perspective, get environmental data as well. because that impacts your the element as such. So when we go to the end customer, that of course environmental data is access is an issue, but in transit or say on a core network side, that is something we have a decent control on. And getting the whole of this thing into a common engine in terms of a continuous data analysis, synthesis, and then minimizing the data which is used for specific use cases as they are built. Because if we keep exposing a huge amount of data on a continuous basis, then we are reducing the efficiency. So there is a staged process which need to be followed. So the amount of data to be given in the beginning while we are building a model is an important thing. But once model is built, what is required to take an immediate decision should be a minimal data.
Yeah.
Well, I think the quality of the data source is a very important thing. I think we have already get the consensus on that. But the fact is that we don't always have a very good quality data source.
Right.
So I think one thing we have done a lot internally is to pre-processing the data before we feed them to the AI agent. So, the data can be in different kind of form. It can be text file, it can be some data in the database, it can in the PDF file or even the JPEG file. So we processing the data, and I think that is a very important stage for that. And I think the most important process is a scheme that between the data scientist and the operational team who are using the tool. So we have a lot of project that get both sides involved, the data scientists who develop the tool and the people who are using the tool. So through the everyday conversation, everyday tuning, and gradually improve the quality of the AI agent.
Yeah. Again, data integrity and data accuracy has been a challenge and a blessing when we get it right for as long as I've been in the business, which is a long time. But I wanted to call our attention to the fact that we're coming close to the end of this, and I'm really hoping we can take a moment and bring it right back to the central topic of this whole event, which is how is AIOps uniquely applicable to, necessary for the world of NaaS, as I would think the Amplify views NaaS. So we've got about 45 seconds each, but you might want to play off each other too.
Starting.
Please.
So, no, it is absolutely necessary because we are selling a networking solution. So we need someone who knows the network and who knows the status of the network and sometimes also who knows the status of the network of a partner in order to propose for sale networking services. So if I propose to a customer a specific service, I know that this service is in my network. Mm-hmm. If I propose, for example, a workaround or an upgrade, because I can understand that the traffic of the specific customer needs more performances or needs more, and I want to upgrade the service, I need someone that knows the network. And so AIOps, it is not only the way to fix the network, it is the way to propose the network to the customer. And NaaS is the proposition of the network to the customer in an automatic way. And when is an agent that is buying, so not a customer. Yesterday we saw many presentations on it. So we say that we have a buyer agent that knows the requirements of the customer, and this buyer agent is asking to a seller agent, to a seller agent, do you have this kind of service? So the seller agent should have the know-how on how is the network, and so the AIOps link is needed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to. So I think besides the traditional growing AIOps on ML and more agentic-based solutions, I think one of the fundamental things that AI technology can do for us is help us through the change aspect of the network. The network is no longer a bunch of boxes and cables and an assurance system or a couple of inventory systems. The network is now a whole lot of workflows, APIs, data sources, automations, top to bottom, east west, right? It is very difficult to have or to transform operational engineering teams to work into that landscape because these are different disciplines, right? Mm-hmm. We're talking about DevOps, software engineering applied into network operations, and it's muddying the water. So I think having the assistive technology of agentic architectures, for example, can give that multiplying effect into observability of the stack.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
When you, Ashish?
So anything as a service is a commitment and assurance. And when you are talking about commitment and assurance, it is important that you have a system to give that assurance. So AIOps with the whole system and with agentic and GenAI as the key enabler ensures that what you are committing, you deliver. And it's a continuous check and continuous improvement as such. So without AIOps, those assurances are not possible, and network being the nervous system, that assurance is even more critical, because nervous system breakdown means everything breaks down, and we can't live without network these days.
Makes the idea of life cycle service orchestration look pretty smart, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, so I would like to quickly answer the question from two aspects. So the first of all, so NaaS is not only for connection. Right now, the NaaS covers security, cover other things, monitoring, visualization, so which actually make it very complex to the customer. So the customer needs to facing lots of things every day. So which actually, as I mentioned in the previous answer, so it make a panic for our customer to handle all of those things. So that's why I think AIOps actually can cover that part and assist the customer to do the daily operation in a much easier way. So that is one point of view. The other point of view is that I think NaaS is complex, but NaaS has some kind of flexibility. So in the traditional network, after the customer send the service order, so probably they will not change the network for even 1 month or 1 year, but due to the NaaS, due to the flexibility, probably every day they need to make a modification. For example, we talk a lot about some flexibility requirements that brought by the AI training. So for example, for this 2 hour, I need to increase the bandwidth. So they need to send a new SO to increase the bandwidth. Actually, this kind of routine daily job can be actually, from my point of view, can be handled to the AI. I think that is how the AI and the NaaS can work together to create a very good synergy.
Well, thank you, everyone. I want to thank the panel. I want to thank you for your prep work, for sharing all of your experience and insight. And I want to thank Schult, Sparkle, Docomo, and Wipro for also sharing your learnings with everyone here. Thank you.
Thank you, Garan. Thank you, everyone.